Hey everybody, Chrissy Tobis here for ThermOWeb, and today I'm going to introduce you to some new product. These are the toner card fronts, and there's two different ones here I'm showing you, and I'm super excited because they are available in Kraft, as you see. So this one right here is called the Love Blooms, and the other one is Dainty Hearts. So I decided to make some Valentines, but not just regular Valentines. Teacher thank you Valentines, because I feel like our teachers are doing so much. So I definitely wanted to do that. So you can see I cut out a couple different pieces of foil, and then I put another piece of foil on top of those and ran everything through my laminator held inside parchment paper. And so now I'm going to show you the process again real quick using the Dainty Hearts one, but this one I only did the one foil. I did not do two because using the masking magic, I had die cut that little stencil out previously to make what I just said, my own stencil. So once I do it, as long as it still sticks, I keep it with that die, and then I can reuse it over and over again until it's not sticky. And so far I've used it 3 or 4 times and it's still working. So I have to say the masking magic is fantastic. So I just place it on top of there, and because it has the sticky on the back, it just stays on. I don't need to use purple tape or pixie spray or anything like that, but I could if I wanted to. If you didn't have the masking magic, you could always do that with regular paper. And then I'm just kind of adding ink all over it. I wanted to kind of go a little darker at the top and lighter on the bottom. So I did that, and I chose to do a brown ink on the Kraft just to kind of give it a little bit of a monotone look. So the next I decided I was going to die cut a window out of there. So I did that, and then now I'm going to trace it because I'm going to ink up that card panel, but I don't want the edges to show through. I still want the edges to be, well, they're going to be a different color, but I did not want them to be the brown that I'm going to use. So I wanted to know also where to center my stamps. This way I have a nice guide, and I did it really light with the pencil, so I could erase it later, or it just honestly won't even show once I add all of this ink in. So that was the decorative label set, by the way, the die that I used. And now I'm just inking this up. I'm using some Catherine Pooler inks. And then that stamp set that I'm using is the Heffy Doodle Teach Me Words stamp set. So this is a great stamp set too, because it does have a bunch of teacher sentiments on there, caregiver, stuff like that. So it's really a useful set for me to use. So as you can see, I've been inking up. So I did the brown in the center where I knew that window was going to show through, and then I did a pink with a little bit of brown in there too, just on the edges. So I wanted to keep the tone, kind of the brown to go with the Kraft, and then the pink to go with that foil that I used. So you can see that's kind of my color combo. And I did use the Enchanted rose foil on this one. The other foils, I should mention that other card, which I'm going to show you in just a second. We're going to keep moving forward with that second card as well when I'm done with this one. I used champagne and pink quartz. So now to finish off this card, I decided I really wanted some flecks of paint. So I'm just using some acrylic paint here. It's actually a really light pink. It's so light that once I mixed it with a little bit of water and flicked it on the card and it dried, it actually looked more white than pink, which I'm okay with that. But you know, any color will work. If you just have the white, that'll work too. And then to finish off this card completely, I just added on some sequins. I love using my Zots Bling because I don't have to wait for anything to dry. That is literally my go-to adhesive for any type of sequin. So now this is the second card, and I did the exact same thing I did with the first. This time I used a rectangle die. So I traced it as well, and I did it like on a little bit of an angle. Now, disclaimer, after I shot this video, I did decide to cut out a second frame and add it on after. So that's not in the final card I show you, but it is in all the pictures you'll see at the end of this video. So I just looked at it the next day and said, no, this needs more. So that's what I did. So exact same technique. I did one color in the middle with just a little bit of brown on it, and then the brown on the edges. So I kind of like did the opposite. And it was a different pink I used, but still similar color combo. I wanted to match the foil again. So my little trick here, you can see when I'm lining up my card that I just kind of flip it upside down like that, and then it aligns and it adheres really well. Because as you know, if you've used any of the memory tape, the Excel runners, it really does stick, which is wonderful, but it's bad if you make a mistake, but normally it's wonderful. So then for this one, I flicked some brown ink on there with a little bit of water because the ink I'm using is water reactive. So then this is kind of like the opposite of the other. The other I have paint splatters. This is water splatters that kind of takes away some of the color. So again, threw those sequins on as a finishing touch, and here's both cards. So here's the first one, and then as I mentioned, the second one, I added that frame in, so you can see how fantastic these toner card fronts are, and I definitely hope you give them a try. Have a great day. Thanks for stopping by.